Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hold on there, buddy. I know you read the title and your first instinct is to make a Twitter thread about how many bitches I don't get and send me a couple death threats via messenger pigeon, but calm down. Just let me explain, okay? But anyway, what is up, my gooners and goonettes? Welcome back to another 10 minutes of me bitching and complaining about something. Today, I will be talking about Jason. After playing against this guy seemingly every fucking match for the last 5 days, I think I can confidently come to a conclusion that he's a little bit overpowered. Just a little bit. For my first point, I can't help but to think back to Made for This on release. Made for This on release, it gave survivors a 3% haste speed boost when they were injured. And for the longest time, while it was still a thing, the killers were complaining, saying that 3% is far too much. 3% is ridiculous. And the fact that it was constant while you were injured, like it's not like it, went on and off, that was ridiculous too. And, a lot of complaining going on. But now that we fast forward to the big 2026, you notice that they don't really talk about it anymore because Made for This is kind of bad now. I mean, it's not terrible. It's only when you're in, like, deep wound state, which happens far less than just being injured. And now we have Jason, where he does his little jump scare thing when he comes out of the fog walk. The fog walk is when he fucking disappears and the whole bunch of like fog, crowds around the map and all that type of thing. And while he's in there, he moves really fast and he can pop out at any pallet or window. But basically, Jason starts out as a 4.4 killer. Now, when he comes out of his fog, he gets a 4.5% haste boost for the next 25 seconds, right? Which means basically for the next 25 seconds, he's a 4.6 killer instead. Meaning he moves at 115% rather than 110%. Meaning he's just as fast as someone like Wraith or Trapper or someone like that. But he has something to throw, which is a lot more like Huntress or animatronic, right? Now, when Huntress holds her hatchet, like, when she pulls it up out of loop and she starts moving like real slow and then she has to put it away because there's no fucking way she can catch up to you while it's up. She's moving at about 3.0 to like 3.2. I don't remember the exact numbers, but somewhere around there, right? Just for reference, survivors move at 4.0. Not to mention, too, when killers are in chase, they get bloodlust. That also helps them. But, like I said, so when Huntress holds up her hatchet, she becomes like a 3.0 killer. Like, super fucking slow. But Jason, when he's holding his spear, he drops down to only 3.74. Which is kind of weird because it's a very similar power to Huntress, like in a way, because if it hits you, you're hit regardless. You know what I mean? Now I know what some people are thinking. They're like, "Oh, well, with Made for This, it lasts forever, right? Like it there was a constant thing, no matter what, when you were injured." But with Jason, it only lasts for 25 seconds or whatever when he comes out of his fog walk, right? That's far, like, that's not that bad. So just run out the 25 seconds and you'll be good, right? Now that would be true if it wasn't incredibly easy to use Jason's fog walk even in chase. Also something to think about. Let's say we gave them both 3% of a speed boost. Jason would technically move faster off of that 3% because it's 3% of his current speed, which is faster than a survivor's speed. So technically, let's say they were at the same 3%, it would still be a little bit better for Jason. So now couple that with the fact that it's 4.5% and still, over that 3% mark. Not to mention, he has no cooldown on his fog walk. So, like, right when he comes out, I'm pretty sure you can go back and do it in like 3 seconds. Like pretty fucking fast. So, basically, if you're playing Jason the correct way, he would be a 4.6 killer the entire game. And that 4.6 is also the speed at which he holds the like spear. So he holds his range attack while being a 4.6. Now think about it. When Huntress holds her hatchet, she becomes like a 3.0. When Deathslinger aims his gun, he becomes fucking slow as hell too. Probably just as slow as Huntress, if not even a little bit slower maybe. Not to mention that they are 4.4 killers and they pretty much can never move aside from like perks. Like if they bring certain perks that give them haste. Whereas Jason just has in his base kit design a way to get haste, and it's a very easy way that he can repetitively get haste. Now, some people might also argue, well, Huntress would be better because she can carry 6 hatchets, right? Or like 5 or 6, whatever the fuck it is now. When Jason can only hold one spear at a time. And honestly, I would side with that if it wasn't true that there's a fucking spike around every corner of the fucking map. So, I mean, he can just grab them and go pretty easily. I would even, be willing to argue that he actually has it much easier than Huntress as far as like always having his power. And that's also not to mention the fact that when Huntress hits you, you can just keep running, make a lot of distance, and since she's 4.4, it's going to be like, it's going to take a good amount of time for her to catch up. But he has the luxury of like propelling you in a certain direction of his choosing, which I mean, it's not really his choosing, it's just kind of how he hits you. But let's be honest, dude, getting hit by that fucking spear or whatever the fuck is like getting fucking slammed over the head with a fucking Looney Tune mallet. I mean, you have no idea where the fuck you are in that moment. Like, it's the most disorienting thing I've ever fucking been a part of. So, it'll propel you into a certain direction, which you're not really ready to be propelled into. So, it pretty much almost always, aside from like a few certain times, will just end with you being dead because he gets the second hit pretty fast. It just makes it so, he can follow up a second hit. It's almost like Wesker, how he can like kind of throw you against the wall and then he can get an easier second hit after, but he still might have to work for it a little bit, like depending on the situation. And it even takes like a little bit of skill because sometimes you have to like flick your mouse or something like that so that they do get slammed against the wall. Now think about it. When Huntress aims her hatchets, she is slow as shit. She's like a 3.0 or some shit. And when Deathslinger aims his gun, he's like a 3.7 or something. So him and Deathslinger are the same speed while like aiming their weapon, which is crazy because Deathslinger's isn't a guaranteed hit. Like if he hits you with it, yes, you will be broken, or not broken, but you will be injured and need to mend. But if you're already injured and he hits you, even if he breaks his chain, the worst that happens is you need to mend again. So I feel like it's still crazy that they're the same speed. Jason, meanwhile, has spears. He has the fog walk. He has the haste that he gets after the fog walk. He gets the like blocking the pallet for the fucking like 1 or 2 seconds, which like, admittedly it doesn't really do much, but still, I mean, he has that. What does Huntress have? She has hatchets and then she has the ability to grab her hatchets a little bit faster than it used to be. Like, that's really it. For me personally, it's just a consistency thing. Like, if they made Huntress the same as Jason, or if they made Jason the same as Huntress, because to me now, it just kind of looks like what DBD always does, where they just make a killer really good on release, and then they'll presumably nerf Jason into the ground coming, a month or two, which I don't think they'll nerf him into the ground, to be honest. I think they will probably give him a decently sized nerf, but I think also because it's going to be like a face of the franchise type of thing, like Jason, you know what I mean? They can't really just nerf him into the ground. Like he's still going to have to be a pretty fucking good killer, I think. And even just with his kit, even if you took a couple things out of his kit, he'd still be a super strong killer. And then we talk about his fog walk where he has like no cooldown. He can just stay, and the fact that he can stay in there forever, I think, yeah, maybe it's not the most broken thing in the world. I think it is a little bit too good, but like even if you wanted to leave it, I think it just promotes the most boring fucking gameplay that both sides don't even really enjoy. Because then what, you just stay in his fog walk for fucking, 5 minutes and while you're patrolling gens, and then the survivors are just, crouch walking away and basically the only way he's gonna come out of it is if he sees a survivor like working on a gen, like if he hears the survivor working on a gen or whatever. So I mean, it's kind of like just promotes boring gameplay and just kind of lame stuff throughout the game, you know what I mean? It does kind of seem like the skill ceiling is like a little high-ish. Like it's not going to be as high as like Blight or Nurse or anyone like that, but it's Pretty high. I mean, it's decent. I mean, honestly, the way I kind of look at Jason now is he's just Huntress that fucking took steroids for the past 6 years, so now he's juiced out of his fucking mind and just ready to come kill people. All right, though, that's about it. I just wanted to come on here and yap a little bit about Jason. But please follow my Twitch. It's Dino.69. I'm pretty much Dino.69 on everything. I'm on Twitter now, by the way. I know that's like the worst possible thing that I could do for my mental and probably physical health, but fuck it. So Dino.69 on all platforms. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Later.